Actually, yeah.
Looks like a dishwasher. Are you sure
No,
you put the right thing in there?
That's a dishwasher.
Okay. Hello everyone, and welcome to the very first Animafest podcast, recorded in Zagreb in September 2020. I'm Adam, and the other voice you can hear is Tom. We've been friends for many years, and here's a little discussion we recorded yesterday when we reunited to make a podcast. Enjoy. So this is Ground Zero episode, or test episode maybe.
Episode 0.
You can't have an episode 0.
Why?
Well, because then when it gets to episode like 52, for example, people will be saying, this is the 53rd episode, but it's episode number 50.
Well, it's like a secret episode, a bonus episode.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It needs to be numbered.
As long as the official first one is not the 0 one, because that's...
What? Yeah, this is, like I say, I think this would be a secret episode.
0.5 episode.
We won't necessarily use it.
Perfect, yeah. Put all of our effort into this waste of time.
Maybe with this washing machine.
Yeah.
I think this part we won't use.
No.
Do you think that our accents are going to be a problem? Do you think that people...
Terrible. We don't really have accents.
Do you... Well, with... Slight West Country accent. No, I meant in the sense of our voices being too similar.
No one knows what the West Country is in Croatia.
That's true. But it's not just... The podcast isn't just for Croatians.
No.
For an international...
Well, people tell me I have a sort of neutral British accent. No one outside of where I come from can hear.
I think we both do, but I'm worried that our voices might be too similar.
Yeah, there is that, but what do you want me to do about that?
Yeah. If you can...
I can't do much about that.
Well, that would help.
I'm trying to do the whole podcast with a Millhouse voice on. Who was it? Martin
Prince.
Martin Prince. Mickey Mouse.
That wasn't bad.
Yeah, that's all I can do though.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Pluto!
You've got to ask questions about animation.
Alright. Tom, what is animation? Because I'm confused.
No, Mickey Mouse accent.
Oh, what? I think he knows.
What is animation?
We're really starting from ground zero, aren't we? With the 0.5 episode.
Can we compare it to a washing machine?
Yeah, go ahead. You could compare a zoetrope to a washing machine.
You can actually, and that's probably one of the first. Actually, I'm not. I haven't studied animation, so I don't know. When you studied animation, were you sort of literally taught from ground zero in that sense?
I think we got cracking on the drawing things and making them move, and then simultaneously we had a bit of animation history where they told us about Edward Muybridge and then zoetropes, and then
Is that the dinosaur guy, Muybridge?
No, that was
Muybridge. What did Muybridge do?
Well, he was like a pioneer of moving footage, so he took a sequence of images of horses running and people running. So it's not a specific to animation. No, but it's relevant. Winsor Mackay did Gertie the Dinosaur. He was like a really early pioneer of animation.
And then you got like Méliès.
Georges Méliès was again less. Maybe did he do some stop motion sequences?
He did, I think. Was it the Haunted House, which was his
right?
Some of the stop motion, little bits of stop motion.
Voyage to the Moon. I think some of the rocket footage was stop motion.
Yeah.
Then he had dancers and things and dressed up as aliens. It was quite spectacular. Okay, next question.
You've been to Animafest before, haven't you?
Yeah, I can't remember. I think this is either my 4th or 5th time.
Yeah.
When I lived here, I must have gone twice.
I haven't had a good look at the programme yet.
No.
What are your expectations in terms of films?
Well, I started looking through the previous works of some of the artists who'll be showing films. And yeah, he looked very strong. He looked as strong as ever, and sort of reminded me what I've been missing out by not having been here the past few years. Yeah? What do you think? What are your expectations?
I'm excited.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I haven't been to a festival for a little while, obviously, because of the given circumstances. There are a number of festivals that we had intended, or certainly I had intended to visit with previous film. So I think the majority of the films in the selection are new to me.
That's a good thing, right?
Yeah, definitely. So I'm excited to see lots of great films, discuss them further.
Yeah. Side events, do you know anything about?
Well, we've got our performance.
Yeah, a couple of nutters doing something crazy for 10 hours on Friday.
Which reminds me, I've got to check the typewriter to make sure that ink is...
Make sure the nuts are all tightened, everything's greased.
I hope that's functioning. Oh, you could try it out, actually.
Okay.
Shall I grab it now?
Yeah.
Let's do this now. It isn't, obviously, if there isn't ink in it, then that's something I've got to sort out.
Here's a discussion we had with producer-director Pedro Rivero on his why not attitude, and apologies for the background chatter on this one. We did our best.
Actually, Adam isn't aware.
What is the story of why not?
I've just got to test the sound.
I don't remember.
Why not?
The thing is, the last time...
I have the answer for this.
It's just people keep talking and someone keeps saying why not.
I think that the first time that I adopt why not like an answer for everything was for this man.
It's like a yes man situation.
Yes,
Keep saying yes to things. Why not?
Did you bring your why not t-shirt?
Yes, of course.
Of course.
For the picnic.
Why not?
Was that the last time I've seen you?
In Kosovo.
It was at Why Not?
At the airport. At the airport.
When I had your hair on my head.
Yes.
Yeah.
In fact, you know, Kosovo asked me this year to record some moments that were so memorable to me. And that was one of the memorable moments I recorded.
Yeah, it was, in fact, it was my birthday.
Yes.
And the festival had no permission to screen Psychonauts, my film, but I have the film in a stick, USB, and I decided to put on, for everybody.
Yes.
And after the screening, we start to drink, of course, rakia. I decided to let everybody to cut my hair. I was small hair.
I don't know where the idea came from.
Yes.
Did you need to cut it? Was it necessary?
It was a bit longer than it is now.
Yeah, perhaps it's necessary.
It wasn't
Way too long.
Yeah.
A little bit longer than now, but it wasn't so long.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe like to the shoulder.
And then he started to put my hair.
On my head.
Yeah, with
Glue
glue.
it on.
Yes. It was.
I think that requires a bit more explanation.
No, it is what
I
it
think
is.
it was a spontaneous moment. And I thought, seeing as Petro's removing it, maybe I need more.
And we exchanged our shirt too.
And then we swapped shirts. You still got my shirt?
Yes.
I've got yours.
Yours was the one with sharks.
Yeah, it had sharks on. I think you got a better deal there. I was hoping he had some money in the pocket.
Oh, no. Nada, nos volvimos locos, intercambiamos
Sí,
las camisas.
lo entendí, que te dejaste el dinero aquí.
Yo me empecé a cortar, dejé que todo el mundo me cortara el pelo, que era mi cumpleaños, y el pelo que me cortaban se lo dejaba pegar con pegamento en mi cabeza.
I'm really glad that you rethought that idea.
It was a terrible pain to get that hair off me. I regret using, because I use like industrial glue. I mean, the more
If you're going to use glue,
pulling, well, that's all I had to have.
No, it was a good performance, yes.
It was great.
Yes.
But I would be worried about if you swap passports with someone and then eventually you say, oh, it was just a joke. How do the passport control react to that?
That's why.
Oh, very funny.
That's why I'm saying I'm glad they rethought that idea.
Do they have that kind of humour that you have? I don't know.
Finally, people was looking and say, oh, okay, why not?
That became like the saying at the festival. Why not?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we were in Cyprus at a festival, and there was a bar there called Why Not? And all the waitresses had Why Not t-shirts. And we got him one.
Yeah.
So he has a Why Not t-shirt now.
He's here with me. Yes. This pizza, yes.
It's a good attitude to have in your life.
When was the last time you were at Animafest in Zagreb?
2 years ago, I think. 2 years. Yeah.
From this year's Grand Competition jury, here's Nick and Nancy Phelps talking about pitching a project, followed by Nancy's colourful journey to Croc Festival in Russia.
Gotta have it.
I really started my music animation project when I was in my 40s, and the nonprofits who were dealing with asking me to project a budget, and I didn't think anything of that. I mean, how am I going to know how much I'm going to make next year, and blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's not like rocket science, but until you think about it, it's like, what? I don't know how much I'm going to spend next year. No, you just figure out, okay, what did I spend last time? It's probably going to be like that, but a bit more, or I want to do this, how much is it going to cost? Then you have to think for a couple hours, and then you have it.
Yeah.
And if you don't do that,
if no one tells you have to do it,
if somebody's asking you that, you don't have the answer, and they're just going to say,
producer wants to
interested.
Know right away what's your projected budget. I mean, we all know budgets
some more
are
than
written
others.
in stone.
Some are really like sympathetic, and other ones are like hardcore business people. Say, well, if you don't have the answers, I'm not interested. They'll go right away.
And also, you have to think about these things. I mean, how long is it going to really take?
How far along are you? And what do you need? Do you need
And what do you need?
Do you need money?
The producer should be handling a lot of this stuff, but I mean, it's also important that communication is fed between
a lot of times
director and
it's
the
like they don't
creative
have the
team as well.
producers yet. Or
They're looking for a producer perhaps when they come. Like when they come to Animarket, a lot of them are looking for a producer. I had a young man last year from Colombia. Yeah. And his English was almost not. And he'd had someone who was a friend in the UK write his presentation for him. And he didn't understand a word he was saying.
Right.
And that's the other thing, the language barrier. It's usually in English and is a second or third language. Some people are really scared.
We spent an hour, and I said, you've got a really good project, but you've got to go back to your room, write it first in Spanish, so you understand what you're saying, and then translate it as much as you can to English, and then come back to me, and I will go over the English with you, and we'll get it in a structure that you can present. And he won 2 awards at Animarket.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. His heart came through the presentation.
Yeah, because when he was saying these English words that he didn't know, you couldn't feel any heart from him.
Yeah. But these presentations we just saw were generally good as far as confidence level. They were really good at getting their confidence level and presenting the program. But when you have someone who has almost no English language skills, they need someone to give them this confidence and teach them how to do this. Like, do it first in your native language. Translate it as best you can. Come to somebody who's a English language speaker. Yeah. That's true. I have stories. My best travel experience, what I will never forget in my life, is I decided to take the train from Belgium to Moscow for Croc. This sounds simple.
It's quite a long distance, I guess.
But that's okay. Yeah. I mean, I love trains.
Yeah, I love. For me, that's my favorite. I think. Mode of transport.
Mine too. I love looking out the window. It's like a movie. Well, anyway.
Yeah.
So all was going well until I got to Belarus, and then they said, "Where's your transit visa?" What? No one, when they sold me this ticket, ever told me. And So they pulled me off the train.
No, you usually say they marched you off the train.
Well, they did march me up. Yeah, actually, the guy had a Kalashnikov. Yeah. And he was like 16, old enough to be my grandson.
Was that because you left the EU, so you need a visa from that?
Yeah,
no, you need not a visa, a transit visa, just to go through Belarus.
Just to take the train.
So, but it gets much better. I mean, this has every element of the strangest story of my life. And so, they take me off the train. My passport goes into this office, which is always scary. They tell me to sit on this wooden bench.
What's your passport?
And on this wooden bench was a French photographer and a 16-year-old girl who was going to St. Petersburg to help restore a monastery. And she had a big basket of food her parents had packed and 20 euros pinned inside her blouse. And they'd been there 2 days. Well, I had the official invitation from the government. So they put us on the next train back to Poland and said you must go to the office there and buy your transit visa. I thought, okay, this can't be too bad. Well, of course, it was Friday evening. And there wasn't going to be an office open until Monday. And they let the French photographer and the young Polish girl go with me. Get back, and I assumed, stupidly, that the office was right there on the border. This would make sense. No, it was 40 kilometers away, and it wasn't going to be open until Monday. Enter smarmy taxi driver. So, there is a taxi driver who says, you cannot get this visa until Monday. I am taking you to this tourist court. And the tourist court was very cool. I mean, we got this big room with 3 beds for the 3 people. This young girl had this big basket. We bought vodka and beer in the little store. And it was a nice tourist camp. Had hot water in the shower. We woke up in the morning and the place was full of Jehovah's Witnesses coming back from a meeting in Poland. But they pretty much left us alone, and we were eating all the food in her basket and drinking vodka and beer and wine. So,
thanks, Mum and Dad.
Monday morning early, smarmy driver. Well, at that time he wasn't smarmy. He was still the nice taxi driver.
Very helpful.
So helpful. And so he drives us the 60 kilometers to where we have to go to get this transit visa. First he says, but we must go get photographs. Okay. So we get overpriced photographs. We get to the visa office, and first up goes a young Polish girl, and it was 20 euros. Then goes up the Parisian photographer, it was 60 euros. I go up, and at this time I was still traveling on my American passport, 150 euros. And this is before there were all these cell phone chips. So, Nick has no idea what's going on.
But I do see these big charges all of a sudden on our MasterCard. Wait a minute, what is this $200?
And I said, wait,
$150. Wait a minute.
And
what's Nancy doing? Is she buying fur coats?
And they say, and they look at me because I'm the older of the whole group. ATM. And I thought, okay, so I go and I make this withdrawal. They put the stamps in. Smarmy taxi driver drives us back. We're at the border. And he looks at me and says, 300 euros. I say, what? He says, luggage and trunk, 300 euros. What? Well, he does have...
Taxi ride's cheap, but getting the luggage out of the trunk, that was 300 euros.
Yeah. So there's not much else I can do. He's got our luggage in the trunk, and he's going to drive off with it. I go to the ATM. I'm sure by this time. And of course, I couldn't call the truck boat because I kept trying.
Yeah, this is where the festival is on a boat, so it leaves.
Yeah, they're going to leave. Finally, oh yeah, so then trains keep coming, and they keep saying, yet, to go back to Belarus. And then finally a train comes and they say, train. This is like after about 4 hours of waiting in the station. And we go to get on the train, and this woman goes, yeah.
No, don't get on, don't get on.
And then we see all these women running through the trains, pulling down panels and throwing wrapped packages into a basket. Cocaine. Some drug.
Could be cigarettes, who knows what.
Who knows what they were smuggling, because they were all in the...
out of the train or into the train?
There was a woman with a basket there, and as the women would go down, they would throw them into her basket.
What?
So, finally they say we can get on the train.
Wait, when was this? Was this 2008
or 9?
Was it after we moved here? Yeah, it was like 2007 or 8.
Yeah.
You had to wait for the cocaine industry to...
Yeah, I mean, like, that's what I was saying. They let us go and let them go on the smuggling train.
Yeah. So then we get on the train, and here are all the girls that have been running around with the border guards sitting there drinking.
Sitting there talking with the border guards.
Well, no, they were drinking.
They're all friends.
They're all friends. So we get back to Minsk. We now have these very expensive stamps. Well, my very expensive stamps. And we can't, there isn't a train. And also, this young girl, I mean, she was just great at crying. Every time you turned around, the waterworks came. And Anton and I said, don't worry, we're not going to leave.
We won't leave you. We'll take care of you. We'll make sure you get to St. Petersburg. Restore the monastery.
So, nunnery. So there were trains that Anton and I could have gotten on, but they didn't have any seats for her. And we kept saying, and they kept saying, come back in an hour. We kept coming back in an hour. Finally, about midnight, I said, I want to see a supervisor. And I went in, and there was this stern-looking woman. I explained the situation to her, and she was going, and then I looked at her and I said, if this was your 14-year-old daughter, would you want to leave her sitting in this place? And we got her on a train to St. Petersburg. So then, of course, and then from Minsk, I could actually call Russia, and I could call the Krok staff. Well, they couldn't hold the boat for me. So they said, you can meet us in Perm, Russia, which is one of my favorite cities. But I couldn't catch a train for 2 days. So I was in Moscow, and everybody I knew in Moscow was on the Krok boat. But Anton and I found this really nice youth hostel that we could share. It was like 10 euros a night, for 2 beds. And we had the best time. I mean, we really had a good time, because I know Moscow pretty well. And I remember us at 3 a.m, fairly drunk, walking across Red Square with a bottle, and the soldiers in front of Lenin's tomb, smiling and laughing and waving at us.
Oh, we've got to go so you can change clothes.
Yeah, and Anton was taking photographs. So then, I got on the train to Perm, Russia, and it was 2 days. I got to finish the story. It was a 2-day train trip in a cabinet with 5 other people who spoke no English. But we drew pictures to each other for 2 days, and they had baskets of food, lots of vodka, beer. And I arrive in Perm, Russia, and I think, now, there's going to be a river here because the boat's coming, but how do I find it? And I see these 2 young guys. One of them has a guitar, and the other has long hair. And I thought, maybe they speak English.
English, they're young.
So I went up to them, and I said, I need to get to the Krok book.
I need to find the river. Where's the river?
No, they knew what Krok was because it was going to be opening night of the festival there. And there were all these banners that said Krok. And they said, we will take you.
300 euros.
No. They were so sweet. And they said, we cannot take a taxi because if the taxi driver hears you, it's going to cost you a lot of money. So they pick up my luggage, we get on a bus, they take me to the dock. Just as we arrive at the dock, the croc boat pulls up. So I'm standing there waving at everybody. And I say to the guys, look, I'm going to go on board, check in, leave my luggage, and I really want to buy you a nice meal because you guys have been so great. Wait here. They said, no, we take your luggage.
And they carried her luggage onto the boat for her.
And I arrive in the croc office with these two really cute guys. And Irina Caprishla says, oh, Nancy is here. No husband, but two cute young Russians. Well done. And then I said to Irina, can we invite them to opening night, please? And so they came to opening night, and you know, they'd never seen so much caviar and good food, and they were just so sweet. And one of them was an artist, and he gave me one of his pictures. I mean, it was just, what could have been the worst disaster of my life turned out to be an absolutely wonderful adventure.
Nancy makes lemonade.
I had a great time.
And what happened to the Polish girl?
We got her to St. Petersburg. She was on the train to St. Petersburg. Yeah.
We hope so.
I don't know,
maybe people smugglers intercepted her halfway to St. Petersburg.
I couldn't do anything once I got her on a train.
She's now working in London.
No, but Anton, the photographer, and I have stayed friends.
Yeah.
And he's come to visit us in Ghent.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's the typewriter. It's pretty dusty.
Yeah.
When was the last time you
used it?
Typed a letter to the Federal Bureau of TV Licensing?
I've never done that.
Yeah, you did. Well, we typed a letter to the TV license guys in Cardiff.
It wasn't with this machine.
Well, alright, but...
Did we actually type one? Oh yeah, you had a typewriter.
And the head was all not adjusted properly, so it was wobbly. The letters were wobbling all over the place, and we just sent it anyway. Then they stopped hassling us. So I'd recommend that to anyone who doesn't want to pay a TV license. Well, we didn't watch TV.
Buy
We didn't
a
have
typewriter and type out a... There you go.
Well, I think because they thought we were a couple of insane old men who don't know what TV is.
A couple of insane old men. How would they know that?
I just want to clarify, we literally didn't watch TV.
Men.
We had a TV, we didn't have an aerial or anything. So I think it was fair to not be paying a TV license.
It's a strange system in the UK. I guess that's
the same in most places.
Similar. Do you have to pay a TV license in Luxembourg?
No.
Wait, how does it work? Because you're in like a flat, right?
Yeah.
So there's a number of people sharing.
There's three of us.
So you would have to pay a shared fee, I guess, anyway.
As far as I'm aware, we don't have to. I don't think there is such a thing. But now I'm worrying that someone's going to listen to this, phone the police, and they'll be waiting for me when I get home.
So quickly, write a letter now.
Yeah. What? Oh, it's Croatian. Prenoš means caps lock. So I'm just telling you because I'm fluent in Croatian. Yeah. Premještak. This means shift. Right?
There is something here where you can... Yeah, that's how to lock it. You have to press that.
So what's that for, if that's the caps lock there?
I don't know. It's been a long time. No, I can't release it.
Oh, we've broken... We haven't even typed a letter. Alright. Well, no, you didn't need the green one. Look.
Oh, okay. So you've got Croatian characters there if you want to use them. And there's something else. Oh yeah, for the number one you use an L.
This little picture of a shovel here, is that a...
No, that's J.
That's J.
So, yeah. If you need... Or is it I?
I don't know what you expect me to type.
Oh, you got caps.
I'm not going to write my life's memoirs.
No, we're just testing the ink.
I'll just write Animafest.
Yeah. Yeah. Just write Animafest podcast test or something.
Animafest.
Okay, there is some ink there. Yeah.
Done.
Do we need to... Should we ramble on more?
I don't know if we can use any of that.